Everything that I have done has just been a continuation of the groundwork laid for me in providing me a strong base with farmers and strong values. So this is basically the people who led me to where I am and who built the foundation for this business. On the right in the back was the owner from 1935 to 1947. He bought the factory from his father-in-law. And then Ferdy, he ended up owning the cheese factory from 1947 to 1989. But this shows you what 42 years of owning a cheese factory will do to a person. This is a picture of Ferdy in '89 when he sold the factory to me. And then Dan Hetzel, whose picture is down below, but he worked here for at least 54 years and was really the main person who taught me what I know about the art of cheese making.
If you seek to know the heart of Wisconsin's great cheese tradition, Cedar Grove Cheese in Plain, Wisconsin would be a terrific place to start. Home cooks and chefs have known for generations that Wisconsin's cheese is second to none, but its innovation has, for the last 30 years, been shepherded by Bob Wills of Cedar Grove Cheese. He's a master cheesemaker, he's an innovator, he's a mentor, he's an icon that's keeping this great Wisconsin tradition of exceptional cheese alive for generations to come. Hey, Bob Wills.
Hey, Kyle.
How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for coming.
Well, it's good to see you, and it's plain Wisconsin is an oxymoron. It's far more than plain. Used to be a high density of cheesemakers.
Yeah, there were at one point 22 cheese factories within about 7 miles of here. We were the first of those, and we're the last of those. Just in the 30 years that I've been here, we've lost a lot of the farms, and we've seen a lot of the cheese factories go away, and we're doing our part to try to maintain the tradition here. One of the reasons why this is a cheese factory that's survived and some haven't is because we see ourselves as being innovative and flexible and creative. And so I'll take you out in the plant, show you around, we'll come back and
we'll have a little cheese tasting.
Yep.
Or maybe a lot of cheese tasting in my case.
You know, there's a lot of cheese. You're welcome to try them.
I mean, when in Rome. Hello, warm, milky smelling room. So I know that you measure milk by pounds when it gets to this point. So how many pounds of milk are in this vat?
So this is about 15,000 pounds of milk.
Okay.
And the big one will hold 22,000 pounds, and this one's about 15 or 16.
And this has got, those are curds.
Yep.
That much I know. What I don't know is why this is so white, looks like the milk that I pour out of the jug for my kids.
Yep.
And why is that more of a yellow hue?
Most of the cows are still out on pasture. They've concentrated the beta-carotene from the grass into the color of the curds. This part of the season, we're starting to get more whiteness to the cheese, but there's still quite a bit of butter fat. So when you see the curds at the end, they look pretty yellow compared to the color of the milk coming in. When I got in the business, nobody worried about what the cows were eating. And when you're dealing with grass is changing all the time. So we started making summer, winter, spring, and fall cheeses because the milk was so different during those different seasons. Yeah. And we've also tried to work with our farmers, encouraging them to get into organic production, whether taking care of their soil or even the recombinant bovine growth hormone first came on the market. We immediately went out and asked our farmers, do you guys have any interest in this? Is this anything? And they didn't want to work with it. So they didn't want to be injecting their cows. And my customers preferred not to have that. And so we were the first factory in the country to promise not to use milk from treated cows.
No offense, but this little factory with its 30 partner farms created a trend that changed the way the dairy was made and sold in cheese.
One of the things that's caused a lot of the small plants to disappear is the inability to make those jumps. And so when pasteurization came in, that was a big expense for factories. And the most recent one, when the wastewater treatment became a bigger issue, we made the investment to try to keep us on track for that as well.
So when you make cheese, you've got a lot of water. And at the end, that water's got to go somewhere.
Well, let me show you the living machine. And
that would be really cool.
It's easier to show than to tell.
Oh, cool!
Yeah, so this is a whole ecosystem. The dirty water comes in here, and then it flows from tank to tank. It has oxygen added, and then the wastewater microbes that eat all the nutrients out of the water.
This is gross. This is, I didn't expect it to be this brown looking. There's no scent, really.
No, it's partly that it's dirty water because it's, it's cleaned everything.
That's good brown.
Is good brown, is from the microbes,
Yeah.
And then as you get down around the corner, we have this giant fig tree, which isn't growing in the water, but is growing in soil that we made from the microbes.
I mean, this may be the biggest fig tree I've ever seen growing in Wisconsin.
It has a lot of figs on it.
It has a lot of figs.
And we really don't know what to do with them all. So if
Send them to me.
If you need some for your dinner tonight, you're welcome to take figs with you.
Yeah, happily. So with each tank, it's just purifying.
In this one,
so much cleaner.
In this one, the microbes are sinking down to the bottom, and then clear water flows over. So the last two tanks are just clean water.
I mean, this is legit clean water.
And so it goes down in the lagoon now. We try to get as much as possible absorbed back into the groundwater, but whatever's left from there flows down to the creek and ends up in New Orleans.
And meanwhile, you're growing tomatoes and figs.
Right.
And a fish.
It's a bluegill.
Bluegill. And why do you have it? Why do you have one token mascot fish?
Well, he's kind of like the canary in the coal mine.
Okay.
If the water isn't clean enough for that fish, we know we have problems.
So after the tour of seeing what you've built, Bob, I know bluegill's not on the menu, but there's some cheese to taste back.
Yeah, let's head back to the store.
I mean, I can't be the only one who's hungry.
All right. Yeah, this counter's got some of our more regular styles of cheeses, but again, there's still a pretty wide variety of things that we make here.
Yeah, there's a few. Mozzarella, Swiss, Havarti, Colby, my wife's favorite, buttercuss, firecracker cheddar with sriracha and habanero. No, thank you. So if I were going to pick out two cheeses out of here, which two would they be from your classic cooler, and which two would they be from your creative cooler?
I'm always proud of the grass-based cheeses because I think that they give a sense of location.
Yeah. Terroir, we can use the word.
Yeah, you could, except it's French.
These here, okay.
The green label.
So a good sharp cheddar.
And then butter case was one of the things I'm a master cheesemaker for.
So what of the creative cooler would be your two picks, Bob?
We have some mixed milk cow and sheep cheeses, the Farco and the Montague. You might notice there's a pattern here where we're stealing a lot of our names from Shakespeare because we're just up the road from American Players Theater.
Sure.
And
that's nice.
So some of this stuff is out of Macbeth and some of it's out of Romeo and Juliet. And then we have some of our water buffalo cheeses. The aged water buffalo cheddar is about 3 years old now. Mm-hmm. And it aged completely differently than like a cow cheddar would. So, but you taste that water buffalo.
Well, don't put it back. I'm gonna. Yeah.
Okay, you take that.
Yeah.
So we should start with the butter case because it's the mildest of any of these cheeses.
All right, don't have to twist my arm. It's truly buttery. Has a little sharp kind of salt thing.
Yeah.
Almost turns into a lemon flavor.
Right, it's a little citric.
That's really nice.
Cheesemakers, of course, like to play with their cheese. So in order to get it up to temperature, and to release all the flavor compounds and stuff,
So I should be doing the Play-Doh thing? This is a Prairie Premium Sharp Cheddar.
Because of it being a grass-based cheese, it's a little bit softer texture.
Even though this is a sharp cheddar, this like opens up. It's got
it has a complexity. I mean, you can almost imagine like this time of year the grass is getting a little bit brittle. But I love October cheese.
So you're really proud of this. I would be too. Okay, I'm gonna have my last tomato, and then we're gonna go for aged water buffalo cheddar. Literally a cheese, once we eat it all up and you sell it, you can't get it anymore.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well,
I'm still hopeful. Maybe that farmer will see your TV show and realize that he needs to do this for the good of mankind.
so that has got aspects of the buffalo mozzarella.
And then sort of a little bit more earthiness.
This has been so cool. Thank you for all the innovations. Thank you for everybody you've mentored. Thank you for making great cheese and keeping this heritage alive.
We're having fun and learning and hopefully teaching a few things. And you know, and when I'm gone from here, like that will be my legacy as much as anything I do here. We've been working for years now with small cheesemakers who don't have their own access to a facility, who are you know, continuing to win awards and invent things and amaze me with what they come up with.